August gathered all those stories, nursed them until they were ingrained in him, almost memories of his own. He knew the folds of his mother's skin, the round immunization scar on her right shoulder, the contours and ridges of the stretch marks that danced outward from her navel in slender lines, even the way her voice broke when she cried. He knew his story too, every bit of it, every detail of every event. He could trace the defiance in his mother's face as she sat in the car almost 2 months before her due date, trying to breathe deeply and evenly. The more he ruminated on these memories, the more he was enveloped with pangs of incompleteness, and almost something he should feel that he never would, someone he knew enough to love but never met. She would have been alive were it not for you, he sometimes thought to himself. August was named by the nurse who cared for him the morning he was born. She picked the name for its promising meaning, awe-inspiring, majestic, venerable. But August Akasike, at birth, was none of those things. Knowing that August's mother had no son and had been told by the doctor not to have more children, the nurse saw him in an almost heavenly light. When she held him, his pale yellow skin thin and scratching, he appeared to her to be the most glorious baby she had ever held in her hands. As dawn approached, the rain thundering heavily outside, August's father was nowhere to be found. The way August's sisters relayed the story of their father's disappearance, the way Uzoamaka clicked her tongue, and Chinyere sighed. We waited and waited and waited for him. August could have sworn he knew, even as a baby, that he had been abandoned. Stories had that effect on him. They possessed him over and over until they stopped being mere stories, and his mind drew up urgency and emotions and tears. By the time he was 7, it was almost impossible for August to imagine that he did not bear conscious witness to them. Each time he saw his father, each time the man refused to look him in the face, August remembered that night, that emptiness of space where his father's body should have stood. The night preceding August's birth, the rain thundered down so heavily on the streets of Enugu that one could barely hear oneself speak. When he was 7, August dreamt each night of rain, hard, violent rain, and woke to paralyzing pain in his thighs. Sometimes, on the nights he saw his mother's shadow looming somewhere in the shower of rain, he felt the pain in his arms too. The doctors had no idea what was wrong with him. When he woke up in tears, his sisters would assemble in his room, their voices low so as not to wake their father. They massaged his aching muscles, and Uzoamaka told him a story from when their mother was alive, because she knew how stories of her calmed him. It could be the most mundane of things. An afternoon their mother fed Chinyere ice cream as the hairdresser styled her hair into painful braids. Or the day she lost her footing and fell, just outside their compound. Or the day she drove to Uzoamaka's school to scold the headmistress. August loved that story because of how much it animated his mother. It was the only memory he had of her where she quarreled. He liked to imagine that it was him she defended like that. Because she knew he loved that story, Uzoamaka told it many times. She was in primary 2 and her teacher had flogged her for losing her pencil. Their mother was furious. They drove to the school that afternoon and caught the teacher just before she left. The bewildered teacher was sitting at her table, doing up her makeup. She stood to her feet when she apologized, as though that would calm August's mother, but the apologies fell on stubborn ears. My sister, the teacher called August's mother. My sister, you know how careless these children can be. Don't sister me, August's mother was shouting. The headmistress heard the noise and came to intervene, and so their mother turned her fury on the more authoritative figure. How do you flog a 6-year-old because she lost a pencil? What is wrong with you people in this school? Their mother asked. When Uzoamaka shared this detail, she pointed the way.